So you probably think you know Roblox, right? It's that blocky game that all the kids are obsessed with. And yeah, you're not wrong, but that's kind of like calling the internet just a place to send email. The reality is, Roblox isn't one game. It's this massive, self-sustaining digital world with its very own economy. And in this explainer, we're going to pop the hood and see exactly how this incredible engine works. Okay, just to get a sense of the sheer scale we're talking about, let's look at one number. In a recent quarter, Roblox had an average of 111.8 million daily active users, not monthly, daily. To put that into perspective, that's like the entire population of Germany logging in every single day to play, create, and spend money. It's just staggering. So that leads to the big question, right? How did this happen? How did a platform that most adults are still kind of scratching their heads about become one of the most powerful forces in entertainment today? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Roblox isn't really a game. It's something way, way more powerful. The best way to understand Roblox is to think of it as a compounding engine. Now, what does that mean? It's a system where everyone's interests are perfectly lined up. When players are having fun, the creators make money. When the creators make money, the platform itself grows. Every part feeds the other parts, creating this incredible, self-reinforcing cycle of growth. So let's break down how each part of that engine works. First things first, let's talk about the supply side, the actual content. I mean, where do all the millions of games and experiences on Roblox even come from? It's all powered by something we'll call the user-generated content flywheel, or, UGC for short. And this right here shows you the night and day difference. A traditional game studio, they'll spend millions of dollars, years of development, all on one single high-risk bet. Roblox, they just completely flip that model on its head. For them, making new content costs basically nothing up front, it happens incredibly fast, and the entire platform acts as this giant 24/7 testing lab to see what people actually like. So here's that loop in action. You've got millions of independent creators all over the world building stuff for free. This constant fire hose of new content pulls in players. When those players spend money in the most popular games, the creators get a cut of that revenue. And those payouts, that's the fuel. That's what motivates them to build even cooler, more professional content, which then, you guessed it, attracts even more players. The wheel just keeps spinning faster and faster. All right, so let's flip to the other side of the coin, demand. We've got a basically infinite supply of games, but why do players show up? And more importantly, what makes them stay? Well, it all comes down to two really powerful ideas, identity and network effects. To get your head around network effects, just think about the very first telephones. One phone is totally useless, right? Two phones, okay, that's useful. But when you add a third, a fourth, a fifth, the number of people you can call doesn't just add up, it grows exponentially. The value of the entire network just explodes with every new person who joins. And here is the absolute key to the whole business model. For a company like Roblox, the cost to add one more player is tiny. It's a straight line. But the value that new player adds to everyone else on the platform, that grows exponentially. And that massive gap between the low cost and the explosive value, that's where all the magic is. But there's another really important layer here, your identity. On Roblox, your avatar is you. The cool clothes you buy, the items you earn, they're not just locked into one single game. They travel with you everywhere you go, across millions of different worlds. This makes your digital identity persistent, and it turns self-expression and social status into a fundamental part of the whole experience. And just how important is this identity thing? Well, get this. In a single day recently, users on Roblox updated their avatars 274 million times. This isn't just some side feature. For a lot of people, it's one of the main things they do. It's a massive commerce engine that never feels like advertising because it's tied directly to who you are in this universe. Okay, so this brings us to the fuel that makes the whole compounding engine run, the money. How is all of this funded? Well, it's through a really simple, really elegant, and incredibly effective currency loop built around something called Robux. The way it flows is super straightforward. Players use real-world money to buy Robux. Then they spend that Robux on things like avatar items or special perks in games. That Robux goes directly to the creators who made those items and experiences. And finally, those creators can cash out their Robux for real money, which funds them to go and build even more amazing stuff. And boom, the circle is complete. And let me be clear, this is not a small loop we're talking about. In just the second quarter of a recent year, the total value of all the transactions on the platform, what they call bookings, hit almost $1.5 billion. That's the mind-boggling scale of this economy. But here's the part that is arguably the most important. In the 12 months before that quarter, Roblox paid out over $1 billion of those dollars back to its community of creators. Now, this isn't just a cost for them. It is the single most important investment the company makes. Why? Because that money is what guarantees the UGC flywheel never ever stops spinning. So, we have this huge supply of games and this massive demand from players. But with millions and millions of different experiences, how does anyone find anything good? This is where the last piece of the engine clicks into place, the discovery machine. Discovery is this really interesting mix of channels. Inside Roblox itself, you've got a search engine that's handling 50 million searches a day, plus you've got friends sharing things with each other. But what's really pouring gasoline on the fire are the off-platform engines. Roblox content has over 8 trillion views on YouTube, and on TikTok, an incredible 1 out of every 5 videos about gaming is about Roblox. These platforms are basically a free 24/7 global marketing department. And this is what happens when that machine goes into overdrive. Just look at these games from a recent year. Grow a Garden and Steal a Brainrot both just exploded out of nowhere, hitting peak player counts that make most big-budget AAA games look tiny. And where did that virality come from? Almost entirely from trends on platforms like TikTok and just pure organic community hype. So when you put it all together, that UGC flywheel, the network effects, the Robux economy, and that discovery machine, what you end up with is something much bigger than just a successful game. You get a blueprint for the entire creator economy. Because when you strip everything else away, you see that the real innovation here, the true genius, isn't the blocky graphics or the game engine. It's the brilliant incentive design. It's the economic architecture that perfectly aligns the goals of every single person in the ecosystem, from the newest player to the most successful developer. This is the playbook. This is the secret sauce. First, you align what's fun for your users with what makes money for your creators. Then, you make sure that when those creators win, the platform wins too. You treat your payouts not as a cost, but as your single most effective marketing strategy. And finally, you give your creators the tools they need to go from being hobbyists to running professional studios. And that really just leaves us with one final big thought. Roblox has effectively built the operating system for digital play. They've proved this economic model works at an almost unbelievable scale. So the real question now is, who's going to take this blueprint and apply it to everything else? Who is out there building the Roblox for work, the Roblox for education, and for whatever the next wave of digital creativity looks like?